Well, hello family, friends, and YouTube. Today is October 13th. Snowee has 2,141 miles on her. And this video may appear to be a rant. It's not technically intended to be one, but before I get into that, let me do my normal welcome aboard to a new subscriber that I subscribe to, and that is Middle Age Road Rage. Middle Age Road Rage. They're a couple, and they really click good together, and their videos are entertaining, and they capture some beautiful scenery. So if you haven't had a chance, go check out Middle Aged Road Rage and their channel. It will all be in my description of this video. As everybody knows, we've had 2 hurricanes back to back. Florida, our prayers are with you, and everyone there is trying to recover from a double whammy. But I can't forget the East Tennessee people, North Carolina. For those of you new to this channel, I retired as a warden out of a mountain city that's up there closer to Boone, North Carolina, and they got hit hard. And I don't think, well, I know for a fact the news media and stuff does not do it justice. And I'm troubled by some of the reports that I get, because I know hundreds of people there, and I've talked to several in the last 2 weeks, and some of the stuff that's being said is simply not true. That a 4-letter agency was there and on the ground right away and all that. That's not true. That's not true. And this same 4-letter agency did in fact commandeer property, not going on your property and taking it. They took donations and they commandeered those donations. So that's misleading what you watch on the news, and you hear certain officials try to broadcast and tell us that's not happening. Now, could it be an isolated incident? Absolutely. It could be something as simple as one team went astray that was deployed. Now, I know some of you've heard stories about Asheville and the interaction with that 4-letter agency and stuff, and that story is true. It did happen. Taking over, having the attitude when you come to a crisis, and just your attitude is simply to, I'm from here and I'm taking over, is not the approach. Now, some of you are not familiar with Tennessee, North Carolina, the mountains especially. I refer to Tennessee as 4 regions. It's actually 3 regions, because that's what all 3 stars stand for on the flag. But I refer to it as 4 regions, having worked in my previous job and been to all the regions many, many times. You have the West region, and it's gangster. Don't make me mistake. You go out west of Tennessee, that's straight up gangster. The good people, but still gangster. You go to Middle Tennessee, and it's a me environment. It's all about, you know, it's just a me. If you go east, up around Knoxville, that's good old country boys, and I'm telling you, them some real people. They're down to earth, relaxed, laid back. Don't mess with them, they don't mess with you. And then you go to what I call far east. You go to Elizabethton, Johnson City, you go to Mountain City, you go to those areas up there, and you hit straight up mountain folk, which are the nicest people you will ever encounter, as long as you don't try to cross them. You don't tread on their family, don't tread on their rights. They're the nicest people you'll ever meet. But they're different. And some things that people didn't understand, that the news doesn't broadcast as much, is when these emergency, let's just say governmental emergency agencies arrive, they arrive to the bigger cities. They don't arrive to these small communities. And that's what everybody has to understand, is some of these mountains, and for those of you who've ridden the Tail of the Dragon and other places up in the east, you know that it's not hard to find a single road that navigates you through most, if not all, the entire mountain area. Well, if that road gets washed out, you got serious trouble. You got people trapped all over the place. And I want to share with you, because I interact and contacted many of the people there. As I said, I work there, so I know a lot of folks there, because I wanted to hear it from them. I didn't want to hear it from news outlets or anything like that. I wanted to hear it from them, what they're going through. And many of them, their areas have been devastated. Now, I know Asheville and all that. If you looked at Asheville and saw the photographs, the videos, devastation. Heavier population areas, but devastation. Now I want you to imagine those that live in the mountains, those that live in areas of a few thousand people. Some of them are still without anything. Their local neighbors are the ones that are responding. The people that know you live up there in certain areas where your road is completely washed out, those are the ones that should receive all the credit. Is the locals. Your local fire department is out for help you. Your local police department, sheriff's departments, your local emergency management. They're all there to help everybody. Where the larger four-letter organizations have a tendency to only look for the masses. So that's why you see them go to the big cities. Now, having been part of emergency management stuff in the past, in my past, let's just say my past life, one of the things you do is you use the bigger cities and stuff to flow the aid in, and then you disperse it out to the smaller communities. Folks, it's been 2 weeks, and we still have people, helicopters, civilian helicopters, getting aid up into the mountains for people. There are people still missing, and some ask, well, hey, why didn't they evacuate and all? Well, first off, there's a little bit of something you need to know about the events that transpired prior to the first hurricane. That area was saturated with a lot of rain, so therefore the water table got full, and it's like filling up a sponge with water. Once the sponge is filled up, any water you pour on that sponge after that just flows right off the sponge. Well, that's what happened in the mountains. The water table was full, and then here come the first hurricane, and as it hit, the remnants of that hurricane, as it hit, it did serious water wash, which led to landslides, which led to people, losing their homes and everything. But more importantly, it led to people being buried. There are still people missing, and one of the things people want the communities, the outside world, to know is don't forget about them. I know you understand Asheville. I know you understand some of the bigger cities that get the attention. I would just like for you to imagine, in whatever state you live in, just imagine your 4 or 5 biggest cities getting all the attention, and imagine all the small towns and everything, what they're going through. Well, in the mountains, it's a little different. In the mountains, you get your roads wiped completely off the planet. I mean, gone. The roads in some areas are completely vanished. You wouldn't even know they were there. People can't get there. So let me tell you what I have to say about certain emergency organizations and response people, and that is, everybody's trying to do what it is they're trying to do. They're trying to help. However it is, it is. Some of them get in the way, but they're trying to help. And bless them for that. But also, the locals are the ones that should be coordinating everything. They know the mountains. They know the roads. They know the addresses. They know everything about the area. And when you block them from trying to rescue their neighbors and their family members, you can expect that there would be problems. I mean, that was normal. I mean, I don't know what end result that certain people were thinking. Imagine your sister's brother's, mother, any family member being trapped or missing, and you're trying to help. The local police knows you're trying to help, but then these other agencies come in and try to assume command of everything there. I know some of you, I've had battles with my family members over the same topic. I had family members that live up north, and they seem to listen to the news and believe what they hear on the news, and I'm trying to tell them that that's not exactly what's happening on the ground, and they're telling me what those people are going through. And I'm like, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but it's not correct. But there is one organization. Now, me personally, I have always given to St. Jude's. I have reasons for that, but I will, for the rest of my life, give to St. Jude. But there is another organization, folks, that hit that ground, and I mean, they didn't ask questions. They just went to work. And that is Samaritan's Purse. If you haven't heard of them, which I knew that they helped other countries. I knew that Reverend Graham was a big part. He's the president of that company, and I knew they helped other countries. I had no idea that they were on the ground helping us. And if you ask the people in the mountains, that's the people they saw. Samaritan's Purse, if you have not heard of them, please look them up, because that organization did not and is not playing right now. They hit the ground and they go to work. They don't have you filling out tons of paperwork and all this other stuff. And that's another thing I'm troubled by. Again, until one of my friends calls me and tells me otherwise, I have a lot of people. Again, I know hundreds of people in that area, and not all of them were directly impacted, but many were. And not one that has filed for the emergency assistance, that famous $700 everybody talking about. I know it's not just $700, that's just a starter to get them going. Well, imagine, if you will, that I gave you $700 and there are no stores, there's nothing around you, no roads, no access anywhere. Where are you going to spend that $700? It might as well be Monopoly money. It serves no purpose. Now, having said that, I had 2 friends that I know of that applied. It takes about 40 minutes on a computer to apply for this aid. 40 minutes. It's not just to check a few boxes. Here's my address, here's my name. 40 some minutes to fill out this information. And as you filled out the information, as soon as you hit submit, in less than 30 seconds, a rejection comes back saying you were denied. Now, I don't know what algorithm they're using. I have no earthly idea. I don't know if they're supposed to use keywords like you're writing a resume or something, but instantly they're denied. So I called around 2 days ago and talked to several of my friends and asked them, do they know of anybody in the area that have in fact received or been approved for any of that aid? And so far, not one. Not one. Now, how's that possible? How is it possible that people go through that much devastation? Excuse me, I'm opening my visor. Go through that much devastation and no one receives the aid? So, Samaritan Purse, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter anything. You suffering, they hit the ground. They ask the local emergency people, the sheriff's department, and the people in the community and the churches. They ask them, what do you need? How can we help? And off they go. They had helicopters in the air. No military helicopters. Helicopters in the air. And then later on, you started seeing the National Guard arrive. Understand, folks, that's from the local government. That's from the local governor. That's Tennessee governor doing that, Bill Lee. So you got National Guard helicopters in the air. You have private helicopters flying all over the place trying to get to those people in those remote areas in the mountains. And I would venture to say there are probably a handful to right now still that have no aid and haven't had anything. So they're trying to airlift and trying to drop stuff to them. There's no way out. The roads are gone. So I don't want to beat up organizations and stuff like that, but I do take issue with the news media leading people to believe something that's not true, or not entirely true. I'm tired of hearing disinformation, misinformation. I'm tired of hearing that term. The bottom line is, if you want to know what's going on, ask the people that are directly affected. Don't ask the people that are 50 miles, 1,000, 2,000 miles away from the scene. That makes no sense. Close this visor again. So I had to get out today to get that off my chest. Now, again, if you live in those type of communities, the churches and the local fire departments, police departments, sheriff's departments, I mean, they know everybody by name. They're there. They're there to help. They do everything they can to help. So I've always been one of these people that I don't like people rolling in and trying to assume credit for something they did not do. And it's troublesome to see it. I want to send our prayers out to everyone in Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee. But at the same time, I want everybody to realize that the situation is still desperate. And there are certain parts of East Tennessee, North Carolina, in the Boone area that are simply gone. They are gone. Now, I'm not talking about tornado type gone. Yeah, that's leveled. But I'm talking about where mud had come in and just created an entirely new landscape. It's just plain mud. So people didn't know that the landslides were going to occur. The mudslides were coming down. People didn't know that the water table was full. They had no knowledge of that. So I don't want to be a naysayer. I just want everybody not to forget those that have been out there, and everybody, whether you're a governmental agency or everybody, appreciates what you're doing. Maybe not so much getting in the way, but what you're doing, everybody appreciates it dearly. And I want to continue to send prayers to them and ask the viewers not to forget the people affected by the first hurricane. I know we focus immediately on the big cities, but I want you to remember these small communities. These you live in a town called Doe, or you live in a little creek bed area, and you're wiped out. Your roads are gone, and you're 50 miles from the nearest help center? No, that makes no sense. So your local churches and stuff are there. So when it comes time to donate, I would ask people to donate. Donate all you can donate, but donate it to the organizations that have proven themselves, and that is Samaritan Purse, without a doubt, and any of your local churches. If you live in a small town, your local churches is there for you. Your sheriff is there for you. Your local police department, all of them are there for you. And they're for you by a name. They know you. And if you're from these larger governmental agencies, stop rolling into these communities and taking charge, or your view of taking charge. Don't tell churches who they can and cannot donate to. Do not come into these communities and commandeer their donations because you think you know best. You don't live there. You don't roll in and take their donations and say, everything has to come through us. That's not working together. So I pray that that got worked out. The incident in question was addressed by Pete Buttigieg, and he did take care of that part of the FEMA response, and he did get them to stop taking over certain things. So that is at least a step in the right direction. I've probably made this video longer than it needs to be, but I had to get that off my chest so I can go back to what I do, I guess, doing entertaining videos. But we can't forget those people. While we're joking around and having fun doing videos, it is very hard not to think about those people that are still having no power, no water. They haven't had water in 2 weeks, but no power, no water, no heat. It's getting cool in the evenings in the mountains, and they have nothing. People don't have shoes, they don't have anything. So I just thought I would get on here and turn this video into a public service announcement to ask all of you that can donate to donate to the right people, donate to the local churches in those areas, donate to Samaritan's Purse. I cannot no longer in good conscience support some of these larger four-letter agencies that I worked with for years. I worked with them personally, but this is not about power and control. It's about helping everybody. And when I mean everybody, not just those located in the bigger cities, everybody. So I'm going to get off this rant. I thank you for watching, and until next time, just live your life.